When we look at education, how do we
Right.
implement AI in education to where it's not a cheat code, but how do we use it to where our young people don't get left behind?
So AI in education is such a huge topic. So I'm an educator now for 12 years. And when we started to look at artificial intelligence in the beginning, there was a lot of fear in my field
Right.
because the first thought was, oh, AI is going to allow students to cheat. And certainly that's still a risk, but thankfully a lot of those conversations have been tempered over time. And instead what we're doing is looking at, well, how can this tool enhance learning? And that's going to vary from one field to another. Again, I'm in computer science. So when we're looking at our students doing things like programming and building systems and designing these complex architectures, we've now figured out that AI can actually be a tool that assists learning and doesn't just circumvent it if we use it responsibly. But you're touching on one of the major issues, which relates to unequal access. And this is something we've seen for many decades, where depending on your zip code or depending on your identity, your ability to access certain types of technologies that enable learning and sets you up for success. Certain groups will be able to use technologies, or they're encouraged to use it, or they're given that exposure and that experience very early, whereas other groups are, because of under-resourced, whether that's in your public school or whether that's in your home environment, you're not able to get the same type of access. So one of the things that we should be doing is ensuring that we're properly resourcing our schools and making this a holistic approach. So not just what happens when a student is on campus or in a classroom, but what happens in their home environment, so that we're ensuring that everyone is getting equal access to this technology, that AI literacy is as high and equal regardless of what your zip code is, so that as we all collectively in society figure out how the presence of AI and these advanced systems and these other emerging technologies as different aspects of our society transition, what we don't want is for one group to be left behind or to be unprepared simply because your environment did not allow you to get the same type of exposure and experience that someone else did. So that needs to be a priority for Congress. They need to recognize that just being able to get access and get the education on some of these tools and some of these new paradigms is going to be imperative if we want these students and these young people to be successful going forward.